It's no secret that the current job market for software engineers is a disaster right now. And fairly recently, I witnessed rounds and rounds of layoffs in companies that I worked for in the past. People that I admire and are way more qualified than me got laid off. So I won't be sitting quietly, waiting to be the next in line. Hi and welcome. My name is Aleph and I decided to build a side project in hopes of turning that into a profitable startup. The problem though, I don't know yet what to build, nor I have extra cash sitting around waiting to be deployed on whatever crazy idea I get. One thing that I know for sure is that I need to build something that I care, something that I really like, because I will probably be doing this for years to come. I hope that by making this video, I'll keep the momentum going and don't get distracted and let this project die as many of my other side projects. So you can comprehend, I own 18 web domains that were supposed to be side projects, but they never saw the light of day. And at this point, all of those domains are making me poor every year. And it would be really nice to document all my failures and successes and look back at the material and reflect on. If you are thinking of doing the same, this video is a sign for you to start your side project now. I think it's important to reflect on my availability and skills in order to pull this off. To start, I just completed my bachelor's degree in computer science, and I'm lucky enough to be already working as a software engineer for the past 7 years. So I'm used to working full-time and keeping other part-time projects. So I need to do this part-time plus YouTube if possible. However, there's another issue. All my past experience as a software engineer have been dedicated mostly doing mobile development, and to be more specific, Android development. So one thing that I know for sure is that I need to use Flutter. Finally, to back up the skills that I might be lacking to pull this off, I know the perfect solution: AI in Supabase. So AI will help me pick up new skills faster in order for me to create a backend API if I need one, and Supabase will be my BaaS, or a backend as a service. And for those who aren't familiar with it, everything related to authentication, file storage, and database will be taken care of by the Supabase team. Now let's clear things up. I'm not an expert by any means, and I'm not really sure if what I'm trying to do here will ever succeed. In fact, the chances of this going nowhere is pretty high. But what motivates me is actually seeing other developers creating successful apps and making a living out of it. And I know that might never happen to me, but the only way to find out is to gear up and start building it. If you are still here, let's get this party going. Let's find out something that is worth building. To start, I wrote a few ground rules before we start looking for the right idea. I've come up with 3 important rules. First, I want to create something for the longer term, something that I can proudly say that resolves someone else's pain. I'm not looking for something magical or truly unique, because I know that in today's age, it's very rare to come up with something that no one has ever thought about it before. With that, I don't mind if there's a solution out there. The whole purpose of this series is to actually build something that I can call it my own. Rule number 2, it needs to be something that matches my own taste. Remember that I'm in this game for real, which means that I'll be probably maintaining this project for years to come. So I don't want to get stuck with something that I hate. Rule number 3, it needs to be investor friendly, in case I need to sell it. Especially now that I'm seeing a lot of indie hackers building AI wrappers around and, making thousands online. But all it takes for that business to tank is an update in the ChatGPT API, and now your business is irrelevant. Alright, with all that said, let's start writing down ideas.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo.
Alright, I think it's been like 2 or 3 days since my last brainstorming session, and I'm trying to find this idea. So I even asked ChatGPT for ideas, and I didn't have much luck on that front. So I think I'm tired at this point. But there's something I think I'm going to do, which is I'm going to revisit some of my old university projects to see if there's something there, that's interesting enough for me to expand on. I believe there is, but, I need to take a look. On one of my projects that I was building, it was related to a trading bot. So I had to build like a C++ trading bot in order to process large volumes of data. I might take a look at my final year, because that was one of the most extensive projects that I had. Maybe there's something interesting there. So I think I had the perfect idea waiting for me, but I was too stupid to realize it sooner. When I was doing my final year at the uni, I had to choose from a subject of approved ideas to develop my final year project. In that list, all sort of things were available, from like basic web application open source projects to very complex full stack applications and data analysis. But I had to build something interesting from that list of ideas and make it somehow unique to me. And I decided to pick up something related to fitness, because not too long ago I was really depressed and I was not very much active, and I could not run a mile to save my life if I had to. But that started to change when I met calisthenics. I started to train with my own body weight, started to learn a few tricks here and there, and suddenly I was a different person altogether. At that time, I have given the name Do It Fitness to this project because it sounded like Nike slogan. As a plus, the domain was available, so I decided to pick that. And thinking about it, I believe that's it. It crosses all the requirements. It is something that will help me train and get fitter. It's also something that matches my own taste. And finally, it's investor friendly. I think I was too burned out of this project because it was a very challenging period of my life, because I had to work full time and also develop this highly complex project for the university. That's basically why I didn't realize it, that I had this perfect idea all along. So I feel I could spend hours just talking about this project, but let's focus on what really matters for this video. The whole point of the finals at the uni was not to build something out of the thin air, but actually have a purpose of creating the project. That's when I combined calisthenics with coding, going through that stage of learning how to get fitter, and I decided to explore some ideas there. But this project in particular was supposed to be a fitness tracker to help you don't quit and build the habit of exercising it, with gamification features also in mind. Like Duolingo, but for calisthenics and fitness training. But the social features and the gamification features I never had a chance to actually build because the deadlines were so tight and very rushed, so I could not implement that at all. So I had to focus on an MVP just to get the basics of a fitness tracker. I was also trying to create some sort of algorithm to recommend you a workout that is more like customized to you. And I even flirted with the idea of using Amazon Bedrock, some kind of like LLM model to query my database and recommend you a workout that is just for you. But it was too much for a final year project. Now let's talk about branding. For a long time, I never thought about how things look to be very important with software, but I do believe that now some sort of identity needs to be involved when creating good projects. And especially now with the low barrier of entry, anyone can build MVPs, or at least very basic web applications with AI. I do believe that the project needs to be very unique in terms of identity. Of course, you don't need to be brilliant to understand that this project has some very heavy inspiration on Nike, especially in one of their mottos, like winning isn't comfortable. Also, the do it is part of that language as well. So I borrowed that concept and niched down to fitness, hence Do It Fitness. And thanks to a really good friend of mine, I really had a very established identity and a design language that is very unique to me. To summarize, I'm going to build a fitness app. I want to create an app that will help me, organize my training. It can either be calisthenics or even weightlifting. Additionally, I want to create some sort of social features in the app, like maybe share my training, chat with friends, have some sort of challenges, gamification. I really want to build that other part of the fitness tracker, which will help you to stay consistent and, train for longer and keep building the habit of training, which, as you probably know, it's very difficult to build over the long term. Finally, keep in the game. Maybe have some sort of leaderboard to introduce some more competitive part of the training, and maybe motivate others to compete as well. Who knows? There are thousands of other existing mobile apps like that, but I'm building one to call it my own. I'm building for me because I'm the desired user of this project as well. So if anyone from Heavy or maybe gym rats out there are listening to this video, keep an eye out because the competition does arrive. Yeah, that's enough. If you reached to the end, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.